Was Leonardo da Vinci the great artist and engineer that the myth and legend have portrayed? How have the works of da Vinci improved our understanding of humanity and the way that we see art? His artistry is unmatched even until this day. What effects did his observations of science and our understanding of the universe and nature give the rest of humanity? How were his predictions of the universe so accurate? How have we applied the machines he drew to our everyday lives? Was he an original thinker and inventor? Or did he just improve upon others' ideas and perfect them? What accomplishments were his and which were not? He delved into the anatomy of the human body, pursued sculpture, mathematics, and science. His use in popular culture of today is exemplified by his legend. If there was a man that could symbolize the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci was that man. Let us discover for ourselves who was Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo di Piero da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452, in the town of Vinci in the province of Tuscany, Italy. We know this because this date was recorded by his grandfather, Ser Antonio da Vinci. His paternal family were upper middle class landowners, which earned them the right to be called Ser or Mr. He was born to Ser Piero da Vinci and a woman named Caterina. Although his father was a notary, his mother was just a peasant, which made Leonardo an illegitimate child. Illegitimate children were more common in the Renaissance. Leonardo most likely stayed with his mother through his infancy, as most illegitimate children did. The illegitimate children were taken care of by their fathers, and sons were most coveted by them. By the time Leonardo was 5, he was living with his father. Not much is known about Leonardo's childhood because he never wrote about it. We can assume that his childhood was much like those of the children of the Renaissance. It was normal from the time that children could walk that the children were dressed in adult clothes and encouraged to learn from the adults around them. The games for children of the Renaissance are very similar to the games of today, such as leapfrog, chase, and tug-of-war. There were also games such as chess, backgammon, and charades for the family to enjoy together. A basic education was very important to the people of the Renaissance. Most schools were ran by the clergy and the church, but by the time of the Renaissance, private or lay schools were founded. Some of these schools were held in the home and teachers were hired on as permanent teachers. Leonardo was fascinated with art, mathematics, and science. He applied the use of geometry in his works, which is why it is believed that his paintings were nearly perfect. Early in Leonardo's life, his father noticed his great talents. When Leonardo was about 14, he traveled to Florence to begin his artistic training as an apprentice to Andrea da Verrocchio. As an apprentice, there was much manual labor involved for payment to the master of the trade, but when the time came for learning, there was much to be had. Apprentices were encouraged to copy other artists' works, and even add to their master's works. One such famous edition is an angel to Verrocchio's Baptism of Christ. Shown here, he did the angel on the left. Leonardo's first known drawing was of the Arno Valley in 1473. For 6 years, he learned a wide breadth of technical skills, including painting, metalworking, a bronze cast from Leonardo depicting a forge, leather arts, carpentry, and sculpting. By the age of 20, he had qualified as a master artist in the Guild of St. Luke and established his own workshop by which he could work and take on apprentices of his own. Leonardo was a polymath. He was a painter, sculptor, architect, musician, mathematician, engineer, inventor, anatomist, geologist, cartographer, botanist, and writer. Throughout Da Vinci's life, he amassed a slew of notebooks which he wrote out his thoughts, observations, and drawings on many things. Whatever occupied his mind, he wrote down. He was fascinated with water and wrote much about its properties. In researching some of Leonardo's notebooks, there is a drawing of a bicycle 300 years before it was invented, but it could also have been drawn by one of his many apprentices. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo died at Castle Clos-Lucé, under the patronage of King Francis I. In his will, he left his notebooks to his heir in Milan, Francesco Melzi, who had been a long-time friend of which Leonardo had great confidence. At the time of Melzi's passing, he gave the notebooks to his son, who sold them as fast as he could. Almost two-thirds of Leonardo's notebooks have been said to be lost due to Melzi's fecklessness. Leonardo was well employed all of his life. He had many patrons, of which King Francis I of France was his last. In his old age, Leonardo had lost the ability to draw, but he still had a very sharp mind and continued to write down in his notebooks his observations. This self-portrait could be very well the last drawing he made, that is, to dissemble before he died. No one knows. There is a debate on whether or not King Francis was actually there when Leonardo passed on, but the speculation is that he was not.